If I ever meet that 13-year-old, I'm going to smack him in the fucking face.
You're still listening. This is our final transmission.
Oh, we're here. It's the Final Transmission podcast. It's me, Sam Russo. It's you, Jamie Carruthers. It's one horror movie a week from the dawn of time until the end of time. How you doing, Jamie?
I'm doing great, Sam. We just had a really in-depth conversation about the most inane thing you've ever asked me.
I don't think it's inane. I think it's deeply interesting and wildly fruitful as a little seed of conversation planted at the top there.
If you want to know what that is, it'll just cost you $5 a month to head over to Patreon, patreon.com/Final Transmission, where you can get all of our pre-show chat, all of our post-show chat, and all the stuff that doesn't make it into the episode.
Controversial shit.
And you can get that in video format as well as audio format.
Yep,
So,
Jamie's wearing a cool t-shirt. I, as always, look terrible and I'm dressed poorly. And Jamie, as always, has had a shower before the show and come correct.
I do come correct.
Said the man in the orthopedic shoes. So, what's occurring, Goering? What are we up to?
Well, we should say up the top of the show that we are continuing our series of Miggy's picks.
Mickey Month! We were not cancelled. The network kept us going for a second episode. Here we are.
Yeah.
Week 2 of Mickey Month.
For the people that don't know, give some context to Miggy Month, please.
Love to. Miguel Chen, bass player extraordinaire for the band Teenage Bottle Rocket, is a big horror movie fan. Fan of the pod, friend of the pod. And a couple of times on tour, we've talked about the podcast a little bit, and he's asked several times for multiple movies to be covered, and threatened me with all kinds of big sweaty hugs if I don't do as he says. And for the most part, we just haven't covered some stuff that Miguel loves for some reason. So we figured let's put that 100% to bed and correct it immediately. So I asked Miggy for 4 picks. He gave me 4 picks, and we made a month out of it. And here we are, swimming upstream in the middle of it. Miggy Month is raging hard.
Yeah. And his second pick was the 1995 Clint Howard film.
Are you already finding it hard? Blimey. Yes, the Clint Howard film, Ice Cream Man.
Ice Cream Man. Tagline, not every day is a happy, happy, happy day.
Yeah, good little tagline. What? Astonishing cast. Deep lore. Wild history and backstory on this one. And hopefully a movie that some people have seen. And I'm wondering if people have a similar history with this movie to me. And I'm wondering what yours is, first of all, Jamie. What's your rap sheet with this little flick?
So I first saw Ice Cream Man. I would say I was maybe 13 years old, and I thought it was the best movie I'd ever seen in my life.
Really?
Yeah. If I ever meet that 13-year-old, I'm going to smack him in the fucking face.
Okay. Young 13-year-old Jamie was probably a fan of Norman Epstein as well, I would imagine, at this point.
Well, he hadn't really dug into his oeuvre.
His expansive back catalogue, right?
At that point. But I'm much more of a fan of his other work. I'll say that.
Okay, brilliant. I'm starting to get a vibe. I'm starting to pick up a vibe here. This feels like a topical movie to cover at this point because recently it was announced that there is going to be another Ice Cream Man. 2
things are happening simultaneously. So
yeah,
they're making a sequel with Clint Howard.
Yep.
Supposedly. And then also Eli Roth's new film, The Ice Cream Man.
Yeah.
Based on the Dark Horse comics.
Which is coming out this year, right?
Yeah, it's coming out in the next couple of months, I think. Next couple of weeks, maybe even.
Crikey.
So
it's an icy, creamy summer, by the look of things.
Yeah. They're re-releasing the song Ice Cream by New Young Pony Club. They're
It's all happening.
yeah. Can't think of anything else that's ice creamy. Baz Luhrmann is re-releasing Sunscreen. That's different.
Sunscreen? What's that got to do with ice cream?
Sounds kind of similar.
Baz Luhrmann's re-releasing Ice Cream, the
Yeah.
B-side to Sunscreen.
Yeah,
which
it's all about covering,
nothing to do with it.
putting ice cream on your body, and attracting the bees from the trees.
Wear ice cream. That's how it goes, right?
Yeah.
So your opinion of this movie, it seems, has shifted somewhat since you were 13, which is strange because I see you as someone whose horror personality was relatively fixed from 13 onwards.
Well, I think that's generally correct, but
Yeah.
for some reason, on this occasion,
Blimey.
things may have changed. No spoilers for my review,
No spoilers.
but things may have changed a wee bit.
Interesting. Well, I was pretty desperately excited to finally watch this film because I wasn't allowed when I was a kid. It had a great cover. It was always on the shelves. It was even recommended to me by good old TVL All-Star Video, but I was never allowed. I can't remember if it had an 18 rating in the UK. I'm assuming it did, based on what I just saw. But it had this great cover of Clint Howard with an ice cream, and it looked fucking terrifying. It's the first time I'd ever seen Clint Howard on the cover of a VHS box. And I remember thinking, I know exactly what that film is, and it's going to be fucking amazing. It's some kind of murderous ice cream man.
Of course.
What's not to love?
Yeah.
That was a concept that immediately I was excited about. And it looked so trashy, and it fit perfectly on that shelf next to, like, I mean, I can't remember exactly, obviously, but I think it was probably next to, like, Critters and maybe Chopping Mall and stuff like that. And I remember that was always, like, where Highlander was, and I was allowed to watch Highlander, so I'd always go and hover around that area before my dad was like, nope, you're not allowed Ice Cream Man or any of those horrible films. So a fond memory, and somehow I just never got around to it. I did find it quite hard to find for a decent price, an affordable price for an unknown quantity. I'm always a little bit cautious buying movies on Blu-ray for loads of money if they're ultimately going to be shit. So yeah, a mysterious, slippery little entry into the catalog here.
Yeah, I think the most interesting thing we can say about the context for Ice Cream Man is around the time that this came out, there was loads of what if the nice guy was not a nice guy movies.
Okay. So what if, like, the milkman wasn't just
there was
banging your mum,
there was
he
the
also
the
killing your
dentist.
dad. Yeah.
Obviously, Maniac Cop and Psycho Cop. Obviously, Maniac Cop was way earlier, but like Psycho Cop and the sequel, which I think Psycho Cop Returns is the best version of what Ice Cream Man is trying to do.
Okay.
There's Dr. Giggles and like
Yeah.
all those movies that are just like, what if the person that you think is nice actually isn't nice? And I wonder...
Well, even clown movies, to a
Yeah.
certain extent, what if someone you trust or, someone who entertains you is in fact a fuck?
Yeah. I wonder what was happening in 1994 to 7 that was like...
Yeah.
The people that you trust are actually bad people.
Yeah, I suppose late 90s, you've got like Gen X and Boomers reaching a certain point in life where they're more in control of media and more, the people in control of media are sort of at the crossover threshold of those generations. And maybe there's just a sort of like, there was a bit of a brash, like pushing the limit, testing the boundaries, like kind of flipping the script kind of attitude with some of the culture at the time. And things like extreme sports were peaking, in culture broadly. MTV's like well and truly fully established, almost cresting. Well, probably well and truly cresting.
They would show the X Games on TV and stuff.
Yeah. So there's like a saturation point almost where extreme and counterculture stuff had kind of gone full circle and become fairly mainstream. So maybe this is like a second questioning of all of that. What if model... And Stephen King has well and truly been established as one of the most important authors in the genre, and his whole deal is what if X happened? Not always like what if good was actually bad, but like the what if model.
What if dog was bad? What if
dog went bad?
Yeah. What if electricity went bad? What if
Phones was bad?
Yeah. What if Dome over town was bad?
If Dome? What if more cocaine? Yeah. There's definitely something.
What if you got thinner?
Endlessly. Do you know what the last line of Thinner is? And this is phenomenal.
Go on.
So I cut myself a piece of gypsy pie.
Yeah.
Incredible. I'll always remember that. Thank you, Thinner. Where's the sequel? Fatter. That's what I want to know.
Yeah. I wonder if they're going to remake Thinner in Ozempic world.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, it's just the kind of thing that Stephen King latches onto. A phenomenon like the emergence of a drug like Ozempic is absolute fuel for the King motor, right? I guarantee that's knocking around somewhere in a OneDrive draft. He's got a high and tight 900 pages about Ozempic written that he's just waiting to refine. Has to have a detective in it, though.
GLP 666. Surely it'll have an author in it.
Yeah, maybe a detective called Ozempic who's trying to
Paddy Ozempic.
Author's a crime against an author. Yeah, Ozempic. So here's the pitch, right? She's autistic and her name's Paddy Ozempic. It's modern King boilerplate stuff. Yep.
He's already done the autistic detective.
Yeah, exactly, but he won't stop.
But like he's not going to do one that isn't Holly Gibney, is he?
Gibney, yeah.
He's going to keep. He's just going to.
Holly Gibney's on the case of the Ozempic killer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that works as well because it's like Ozempic is almost an anagram of Zodiac.
Very good. There you go. You just nailed it. Yeah. Whatever it's an anagram of, that's a clue. Yeah. There you go. He's probably written it already.
Yeah.
Anyway, point being, Ice Cream Man was part of that, zeitgeisty, but this is still very much, it is worth noting, in case you weren't aware, dear listener, a fucking B movie.
Yeah.
This is B with a capital B. There's no money, but there's a semi-inexplicably pretty rock-solid cast popping off here. This is not spoiler territory, obviously, but not only is Clint Howard in his second leading role, apparently, based on my reading.
Yeah, Evil Speakers is first, which is a great movie.
Yeah. But he's quite established in horror by this point because of obvious family connections.
Yeah.
And a generally warm reception from horror fans.
Yeah, obviously, was Tix before this? I can't remember.
Yeah, Tix was before this. So you've got an iconic death scene, a great character, and a pretty explosive entry into, what he was kind of always, I don't know, doomed or destined to be, which is a typecast horror whack-a-loon.
Yeah.
It's obviously his thing. But he's coming into this in a leading role, and who knows what the the sort of birthing period of this movie really was like. Who the fuck's idea was this? How did they pull the cast together? What were the conversations leading up to the leading up to the shoot? I don't know. But you've got Clint Howard, okay, already good enough for me. You've somehow got Olivia Hussey.
Yeah, that's such an odd one.
Because she'd done Juliet by this point.
Yeah.
And Clint Howard's on record as saying how much he respected her as a theatrical actress. Obviously, this is after Black Christmas, right?
Yeah.
So Olivia Hussey's in this film somehow. Lee Majors II
yeah.
is in this film. Again, nonsense. Jan Michael Vincent is in this film. So it just gets weirder.
Yeah, Jan Michael Vincent has been ruined for me by the TV show Rick and Morty.
Okay, right. You and probably millions of others.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen. There's an episode where they're watching Intergalactic Cable.
Yeah.
And there's a movie trailer for something involving Jan Michael Vincent, and he just keeps saying Jan Michael Vincent's name. It's like, this summer, get ready to jan down your Michael Vincents. And like,
yeah, it's great. It's a good bit.
It's a great bit, but it's ruined Jan Michael Vincent for me.
Yeah, I mean, There wasn't a lot to ruin, let's be honest. But
He's in I think my 8th favourite Charles Bronson movie.
What's that?
The Mechanic.
The Mechanic, yeah, one of his biggest movies. You got Steve Garvey, who I wasn't familiar with, but when I looked him up, I thought, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Professional baseball player in this movie for some reason. Sandal Bergman, that's still a big get, if you ask me.
Yeah.
David Warner is in this film.
David Warner and David Norton. They're both horror royalty.
Absolutely bananas.
You've got American Werewolf.
You've got porn stars as well.
You've got American Werewolf, and you've got Damien's priest, or whatever he is.
Yeah. And the guy from that terrible movie.
Yeah. And Olivia Hussey, and and it's a fucking Dodger, and the MILF guy from American Pie.
MILF guy from American Pie. Absolutely astonishing. How the fuck is this a cast of an actual movie? Is that Justin Isfeld? Is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah. How is this a cast of a movie about a deranged ice cream man killing kids? Holy fuck. I mean, that's enough of a head fuck to make this at least interesting. What a cast. And then obviously the elephant in the room, the elephant's cock in the room, it's directed by not just a porn director, but the man who directed Edward Penis Hands himself.
Which... Not to again spoil my review of Ice Cream Man.
Here it comes. In defense of Edward Penis Hands.
Edward Penis Hands is a porn parody that is really well put together. There's like...
Sure it is.
We've talked about this before, like some of those porn parodies. I had the Batman and Robin, like the Batman 1966 porn parody on DVD at one point.
Yeah, Scatman and Throbbing.
It was just called Batman and Robin, a XXX parody.
Okay.
And there was an option on the DVD to watch it with all the porn scenes cut out. Because if you watch it with all the porn scenes cut out, it holds up as like an episode of Batman 66. So like...
Second time around, you went without the the gristle.
Yeah, after maybe, 45 seconds, I was straight into the turn the porn off thing. Yeah. Hide the shame.
Yeah, weird. There was a porn without porn feels like boneless wings to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think boneless wings are good.
Yeah. There's definitely nothing bad about it, but there's a key distinct. There's something missing. Something unnaturally absent. Anyway, carry on. Tell us all about how much you love Edward Penis Hands.
I just think so. It evokes a real mood, and obviously he's got a template that he can borrow from.
Yeah.
And he makes some interesting directorial choices in Edward Penis Hands.
But I'm sure he does. I'm sure you were riveted.
But where are they in the Ice Cream Man?
They're there.
I don't need comforting.
You might by the end of this. I just think on paper, if you're on the fence and you're looking at this in the shop and you're like, oh, I don't know, that guy looks a bit weird, and you flip it over and you see that cast, if you know anything about anything, you're paying the £2.49 to rent this for a week.
Yeah. I think, like, obviously, you're not going to look at the director and go, well, I know that guy from the Pawnees. But, like...
No, almost definitely not. Even though that was a period of time where, like, a porn director... If you love porn, you might watch a director's porn movies. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're not... Nobody nowadays is going on, like, I don't know, fucking Blacked Raw and trying to find the shit that's directed by the same guy. There's no oeuvre going on there. However, you might have done that in the late 80s, early 90s with porn directors.
I don't know if you did. I think it was more like stables of, like, talent.
Yeah, true.
Like,
yeah.
like,
it's more about the horse than the stable, yeah.
I would be like, let's look at Vivid because they've got Asia Carrera.
Sure. Or let's look at, I don't know, Barbed Wire Warehouse because they've got the most extreme, I don't know, prolapse torture or whatever the fuck. I made all of that up, by the way. That's not real. Before you start Googling it, dear listener, that's not real.
Yeah. I mean...
Pretty good name, though.
What, prolapse torture?
No, Barbed Wire Warehouse. That's a great name for a porn stable or a porn production house.
Yeah. Anyway, we've done too much on porn.
It's going to be more, I guarantee it.
Well,
but I guess the facts established, this movie looks fucking, to a certain audience, unfuckwithable on paper.
On paper, it is,
Yeah. And I can completely see why. Obviously, it's a straight-to-video release movie.
Yeah.
Shot very quickly on a very low budget with a cast of people who probably weren't getting paid a lot. And that's about it.
I would say that is almost definitely it. Do you want to give us a synopsis, and then we'll take a break and come back and get into some thoughts?
I can try. I don't really know what the key beats are in order to provide an effective synopsis, but I can do my best.
Go on.
Let me just pull up my notes here.
Pants.
Let me just pull up my pants, because we started talking about prolapse torture, and I got all creamy. Here's the synopsis for the movie Ice Cream Man.
Go on.
Young Gregory is buying an ice cream when, before his eyes, his ice cream man is murdered by the mob.
Yeah.
I've got you, haven't I? That's the elevator pitch already. What precipitates those events is Gregory going insane and being put in the loony bin. And when he comes out, he becomes an ice cream man, just like his hero. And for some reason, starts killing kids.
Not just kids.
No, not just kids. True. Starts killing people and serving them in his ice cream.
Yeah.
A local group of kids called the Rocketeers discover that something's amiss with their beloved ice cream and begin a campaign to out their ice cream man as a murderer. And that's it.
That is it. So when it sounded good on paper before, do you think it still sounds good on paper?
I really do, yeah. I mean, I could have pitched it harder, but I would have been building myself up for a bigger fall, because I've got a feeling you're inching the blocks out from under me here, and there's going to be a bump down to earth fairly soon.
Why don't we take that break and come back and get into our thoughts?
Let's do it.
Whoa, holy shit. I guess that's why they call it Phantom Power.
I'm back. Are you back, Jamie?
I'm so back, Sam.
Hey, got you with a bit of your own medicine there, didn't I?
Do you know what else is real delicious and sweet?
The record label Red Scare Industries.
There you go.
Redscare.net. Go there and order and buy music. Support artists in a world where AI is crushing us all. Do that. I recently had a really fun thing happen. So the Nixon twins, Rachel and Michelle Nixon, who are not twins, who do basically all of the legwork and logistics for the Red Scare warehouse and everything involved with distribution of Red Scare music, were kind enough to hand deliver a care package of Red Scare merchandise to a very good friend of mine who was visiting Chicago very briefly and staying in a hotel. And he received his gifts and wore them out on the street and was recognized as a fan of Red Scare's music by native Chicagoans. So it just shows, if you buy something on Red Scare, people will notice you.
Yeah.
And say hello.
Hot dog.
Good work there.
Thanks, mate. Let's talk about...
Shouldn't you have said, hot dog?
I don't like to do the voices.
Why?
I don't know, it feels inappropriate.
Okay, cut that out then, I guess.
I mean, no, it's fine for you to do the voices. I just don't like to...
Would you do a Dave Mustaine voice for us?
No.
Okay.
That's my Dave Mustaine voice.
No, immediately followed by the greatest impression of Dave Mustaine ever recorded.
That's pretty good. That
was really good.
I've never done it before.
See, you've never tried, and then you tried it and you enjoyed it, and you were good at it.
Yeah.
There's a life lesson there, Jamie.
There was a life lesson.
Back in the room, Ice Cream Man. So
Yeah.
tell me, Jamie, tell me the truth. I can already smell it on your ice creamless breath that this didn't get you in the mood.
Okay, so the first note that I wrote down...
Oh, yeah, let's compare first notes.
Okay, so my first note that I wrote down while I was watching this movie this afternoon, while I was meant to be working.
Yeah.
And with hindsight, the answer is yes.
What's the question?
The question is, can a movie be truly bad if it starts with an ice cream man being mowed down in a drive-by?
You've answered all of my questions in one fell swoop. My first note was, creepy atmosphere achieved. Incomplete thought. I don't like making notes anymore. It pisses me off. But that was my first note, yeah.
So I completely agree with you that on paper, this should be amazing. It's a comedy. It knows it's a comedy. It does jokes, but it also exists in a so bad it's good place. It skirts that line magnificently at times. Like the line between, we know we're making a funny film and we know that we don't have the money to make a good film. So we're going to make it shit, but also funny. And it's going to be both of those things simultaneously in a way that you will enjoy. And like modern films do that too. The Sharknado franchise, all of those sci-fi mega shark versus who fucking knows what. And like a bunch of like full moon movies are doing that too. Like Ginger Dead Man and Evil Bong and all of that stuff. Like it's all in that space, but it doesn't work now somehow.
Right.
Is it, I want to ask you, is it nostalgia that makes that work? Or was there just something different in the source up until the mid-90s?
I honestly think both, and I've thought about this quite a lot. I don't know if I'm quote unquote correct, but here's how I feel about it. Yes, there's oodles of nostalgia. There's something about looking back on something with potentially rose-tinted glasses that imbues it with slightly more value or substantiality, or that makes it more emblematic of a more meaningful time in your life, or whatever it is. There's a process there that gives it a little bit of an extra shine. But I also think the reason those modern movies fail is because the particular patina of the finish of the movie is all wrong for a bad movie, because we grow up with an idea of what a low budget B movie looks like, and what we're actually given with these modern movies that lack the budget to be quote unquote good is just a gross production, essentially. Like, they look fake and bad, and they don't hit any of the notes that really ring true for us as fans of bad movies. You know, we like to see the strings. You don't see the strings in these movies. You just see complete dog shit grading and bad CGI and terrible performances all mixed together. And there's a quality to the visual production of these movies, the filming, the final product, that looks too good to be bad. Like, it's just too polished, and therein lies the total lack of charm. So for me, if something's going to have the appeal and the quality of Ice Cream Man, it has to have that low budget look, and you can't contrive that. It just is a product of not having enough money to make a top dollar movie. Yeah. You know, it's the Clint Howard, Ron Howard thing. You know, there's not a Ron Howard movie in existence that looks like a Clint Howard movie, really, apart from the ones he's fucking in. So there's a real balancing act there, and I think there's psychological factors as well. Obviously, we're just geared to treat older movies as being more nostalgic than modern movies. That's the inherent quality of nostalgia coming into play. Yeah. But they just look fucking terrible to my eyes. And it's impossible to enjoy a movie that looks that shit.
I also think that like the barrier for entry is much lower now. And like that's a good thing potentially, because we can democratize filmmaking. So people can make a Blair Witch Project that was, 97, but whatever. People can make something that is as groundbreaking or as paradigm shifting as like a film like the Blair Witch Project or Paranormal Activity or not a found footage movie maybe. But what we also get is anyone can make a movie and chuck it out on a DVD, and some fuckers will buy it. And if you make it funny, then it'll work. Whereas to make Ice Cream Man, someone had to sit and write a proper script, because that was just the way that things happened. Someone had to source film and get a film camera, because this wasn't shot on video. Yeah. Like, it has a film look. That's the thing that I think that I really latch onto in these sort of so bad they're good movies from this time period and before, is that like they still look like films. They look like bad films. They look like someone who has no idea what a camera is doing. But
I'm gonna put a classic pin in that and revisit. But carry on.
But I think that's the key difference. And The digital look of all of those Sharknado films and Mega Shark versus fucking who knows what and all of those
Sucks the life out of it.
Yeah, because they might as well be shot on iPhones. And I think
yeah. I mean, some of them probably fucking are.
Yeah,
and
that's fine. I think if you're going to shoot a film on an iPhone, it has to be the best film in the world. Do you know what I mean? It has to be genius content that you're creating that you could only capture because you don't have the capacity to capture it using the conventional Hollywood system because you live outside of that system.
What was that famous movie shot on iPhone? Was it Tangerine, or it's called something? It's a fruit or something.
I think it was Tangerine.
Yeah, that was a pretty paradigm-shifting movie, I think. Or at least the marketing would lead you to believe it was. You're right. The swing of the axe here is you've got democratizing anything gives people who are geniuses but lack the connections or the means to make their genius come to fruition. But it lets everybody in with that, which I think is a good thing. You know, with the advent of the printing press, you precipitate TikTok. Sure. With the democratization of the technology to make movies, you get these incredible low to no budget filmmakers suddenly being able to do so, and that brings people from all walks of life into the sphere of filmmaking that otherwise would have been unable to access it. And the same for audiences. You know, audiences used to have to, viewing movies was initially fairly affordable thing for, you know, working class people to do all fucking day, all the time, and then it became prohibitively expensive, and now it's a strange mixture of both. You know, economically, there's always sort of a strange cycle that comes with the democratization of any kind of media. What we've got here is, I think, a perfect storm of accessibility to movie making media, because we've got a porn director making a horror film with a fucking cast full of actual actors.
Yeah,
like that's kind of the embodiment of everything you want from a 90s B movie. I can't believe it's a 90s movie, first of all. It feels so 80s, it's hard to fucking stomach. But yeah, it's an artifact at the very least of all of those phenomena combining.
Yeah, I think, just to pick up on you saying that it feels like an 80s movie, I think if this was made in the 80s, it would be so much better.
What would be difference making there for you?
I think that it would
lower standards in the viewing public.
I think it would be much gorier. I think it'd be much more violent. I think people would die on screen.
Potentially, yeah.
And that would be way better.
Yeah, apparently, and everybody probably knows this, but there's a thing online that says they were shooting for a much lower rating. Like, they wanted this to be much more accessible to young, but they just couldn't pull it off. They couldn't pull off the horror and the accessibility factor effectively, so they eventually just kind of lent into an older age rating.
But I mean, that seems fair. But if I was going to do that, and I was like, okay, I didn't get the PG-13 rating that I wanted, so it's gonna be an R, then I would go back and I would shoot more stuff to make it worth it being an R. Obviously, we've talked about my sort of general feelings about it. I don't think it's very good. There are things in it that I like a lot, but nothing happens for the first hour. You're just sort of hanging around with people saying words that they don't believe.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
To invoke Sam Russo in, I don't know, the first 40 episodes of this podcast, it's a bit of a rough hang.
Oh, you're going to use my own words against me now, are you?
Yeah. And the last half an hour, things get better.
Right.
Who is it?
You like this movie when there's more action.
Who is it where they have written a song and the lyrics are things get better, but they never get good?
I don't know.
But that's what this film is. It gets better, but it never gets good.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I feel very differently. I think this is a fucking brilliant little horror movie. I think for what it is and where and how it exists, I think it just fucking nails it. I don't see it as being quite as funny as I think I'm supposed to. I think it's obviously very, very tongue-in-cheek at times. But I also think it does I think it does equally as good a job of horror as it does comedy. When it's trying to be funny, I think it's not laugh out loud, what a great piece of stand-up funny, but I think it is tongue-in-cheek enough to be pretty amusing and pretty dry. almost droll. And then the other end of the spectrum, I think there's feats of horror achieved here. Like I think there are moments that, while not being scary, like oh my god, I'm scared watching this film, are scary enough for what it's doing. I think it hits all its kind of key notes. I don't think I was entertained by the first chunk of the movie. You said the first hour, not a lot happens. I was still really entertained in that because I really like the character. I really like Clint Howard's Ice Cream Man. I really enjoy being around him and trying to figure out, like, but I think part of the key thing about the way I was watching it is I wanted to know if the film was going to give us much of an explanation as to why he was the way he was, and just how much crazy we were going to see. And we see so much crazy. We see plenty of crazy. And it all feels so naturally Clint Howard. Like, it really feels like he's allowed to be himself in this film. There's bits where you're like, there's no way they wrote that. You just did that. Like, that's just you being you.
I just sort of think that it's joyless.
Really?
And like they're painting by numbers and they just had a bunch of ideas for things that they thought would be cool and tried to string them together with 40-minute sections on some kids riding their bikes and calling each other fat. Which, I mean, it's what kids do. I was a kid. I got called fat and I rode a bike. Like,
did you, like Tuna, have a pillow up your front to make you look fatter than you were?
No, I didn't.
That's some not particularly good. Can you even call it prosthetic
work?
No.
You know, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I found it all a bit joyless. I thought no one ever really seemed like they were having fun. And like I say, I think the good version of this movie, the version of this movie that I like, is Psycho Cop Returns,
right?
Which is about a satanic killer policeman who crashes an office party in a high-rise building and kills people while saying you have the right to remain dead. Like,
okay, so it feels like you'd like this if it was a bit more extreme. This is a bit bland, a bit like porn director has idea for horror movie, and it's a bit shallow.
The difference between this and Psycho Cop Returns is that Psycho Cop Returns is directed by Adam Rifkin, who directed Detroit Rock City and like a bunch of like really good movies that I like. And he has like a sideline in making films under a different name, like really, really cheesy, cheap horror movies under a different name, Riff Coogan. And he made Psycho Cop Returns and he made The Invisible Maniac, and like both great movies, problematic in their own ways. I think that fucking Norman Epstein, Peter Norman, whatever, would be way happier shooting some porn. I just feel like he'd be having a much nicer time.
Yeah, but sometimes you got to work outside your comfort zone, Jamie, to really achieve something. I understand where you're coming from. I've now that you say it, I sort of see that read as being a lot more legitimate than I initially thought. But what I attribute that to, and I think while I was watching it, it is a genuine sense of eerie and unease. Like I said, my first note was that this is creepy. This apart from the ridiculous, gunning down of the ice cream man in the opening scene, I do think the kid's performance in that is eerie, and I think everything about that feels real. I don't think maybe it's supposed to be all that fun in the beginning, because even the scenes with the kids, you maybe a less seasoned director would see that as an opportunity for japes and shenanigans, but somebody as solid as Epstein, somebody with chops, taking the opportunity to use that to conjure a deeper sense of unease. You've got Clint Howard grinding up a whole dog into his ice cream. And that is, that is fun. I think that is, for gorehounds, a really fun moment. And it's obviously ridiculous. Like, what the fuck? Who is going to eat an ice cream cone with ground up whole dog in it and not notice? I think that's tremendously fun. But it's overridden by a sense that I think is mostly Clint Howard and music and lighting, dare I say.
Music was terrible, but okay.
I thought the music was fucking perfect for the movie that they were making. It's ice cream truck music the whole way through. It's fucked up. I don't know. There's something really joyful in do you know what it is? This is a porn director at his peak, right? He's edging the whole way through. He's edging his audience. He really is, because he knows that you want big laughs and big scares. And what he gives you for the first hour is fucking edge-tacular tantalization. You see stuff that's funny, but it's not massively, it's not played up for laughs. And you see stuff that's scary, but it's not, in your face terrifying. It's just a really comfortable edging experience for the first 45, I would say, maybe not hour. I think they establish a level of humor that's completely palatable, within the sphere of horror that we're in, and they establish a threshold of horror that you're quite comfortable in, and it kind of chugs. So I understand why you might be, wanting more or maybe bored in that first hour. But I'm in because I love the idea of this batshit crazy ice cream man played by Clint Howard. And the whole time I'm hanging on this hook of how crazy is he going to go? And it's not the kind of crazy that is going to, sell 1 million copies of the movie. He's not like going on a bloodthirsty rampage and drenched in gore. He's dancing alone in a car park to no music at night next to his ice cream truck. He's growing a garden of whirligig flowers. There's just so much there that's funny when you say it out loud, but actually really does create a genuine sense of horror, I think, in the movie. So I like it.
I don't want to be the guy that's like, yeah, but it doesn't really make sense. Like, you can't hold it up to any real scrutiny, because I don't care about that in Killer Clowns from Outer Space, right? They're alien clowns that do things that Earth clowns do. Do they know about Earth clowns? Are Earth clowns based on these alien clowns? Why do they fire popcorn? Why do all of this? Why do they encase people in cotton candy? All of this stuff doesn't make any sense, but it doesn't matter because the film fucking rips. Whereas this, it's okay, you are licking dead dog ground up carcass. That doesn't taste like fucking raspberry ripple.
Eyeball.
When
the guy's just rolling an entire eyeball around in his mouth.
Well, he scoops out the middle of an eyeball.
Yeah.
And fucking takes ages.
To be like a little...
I'd be like, come on, mate. Can you hurry up to...
But that's what I found pleasantly uncomfortable, is that there's no way on earth anyone would go to this ice cream man. He takes forever. He's a dick. He gives you these sloppy, lopsided cones. He kind of tells you what you're going to get. Plus, he's serving you ground up whole dog.
Yeah.
It's fucking hysterical to me.
I feel like sloppy, lopsided cones is one of Paul Norman's other movies.
That's casting call number one. Yeah, I like the presentation of the idea that there's roaches and mice and body parts in all of this ice cream. But what I really like, and what made me laugh, is how he'll make an ice cream cone and then just rub it against a dead guy's face and then hand it to you. That's really funny to me.
Yeah,
it's such a inept kind of evil.
I liked that, but but not enough to get me through the next 20 minutes. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Okay. Yeah. Well, do you know what? Maybe it's an intangible for me. I don't fully understand why I was so in that first chunk of the movie. I think it had piqued my interest enough that I just hung and was totally undistracted. It's pretty rare nowadays that I'll watch an old movie that's as trashy as this and at no point think about stopping watching it whatsoever. And this just had me for some reason. I think according to my notes, I'm just in for that whole chunk of the movie, because I've written that David Warner shows up, which obviously I didn't know he was in this movie because I didn't look in advance. And I have kind of an active dislike of David Warner that I can't really attribute to anything specific.
Because he looks and acts like a melted Alan Rickman.
It's stiffer. He's too stiff for me. He brings a stiffness that's not welcome.
Yeah.
And I think we can all agree unwelcome stiffness is difficult to swallow.
That's also a Paul Norman movie.
We're knocking him out today, much like all of the viewers of Paul Newman's movies. I just he shows up and something dies in the scene for me.
Yeah.
And only when he showed up did I start making notes that were in any way, less positive. I quite liked the brother pointing out that, like, harping on about tuna being a dumb name, going nuts about it basically. But his brother's name is Racer, and he's fine with that. Racer, I've written Racer, fine. Tuna, dumb.
But also,
So
I thought Tuna was a nickname because his surname is like Casserole or whatever, right?
Yeah, it's definitely a nickname because it's obviously it's a nickname, but yeah, Racer, fine. Tuna, no. I liked one of the next notes I made is that the dad who's having the affair,
David Norton.
His work desk is so funny. He's just got giant obelisks and massive balls all over his desk. And I can't help but think that that's Norman Epstein's desk. That's got to be his real desk.
Yeah. Please can we just call him Paul Norman? Norman Epstein is...
I like Norman Epstein because it makes me think of Jeffrey Epstein.
Okay, good. I don't want to think about Jeffrey Epstein directing these movies.
Okay.
He directed a movie called Women of Colour.
What, Jeffrey Epstein?
No.
Oh.
Paul Norman.
One thing I did hear about him that maybe isn't going to win him any points with parents listening to this is that he...
no idea where this is going.
He didn't tell any of the kids or their parents that there was going to be horrifically scary shit happening in this film. He tried to do the thing where you make a kids film on one side and a horror movie on the other to sort of like shield the kids from the the terrifying experience of acting in a horror movie when you're very young and impressionable for a little while. And then apparently he got tired of doing that and just started like scaring the living shit out of them to the point where a lot of the kids had to have their contracts renegotiated halfway through the movie and have, protective measures put in place because he was fucking them up, basically, which I think is bad. I don't think that's a good way to treat children. No,
but I mean, it was up until the late 90s, filmmaking was just a Wild West, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was par for the course, yeah. And in a way, I'm impressed that there were parents who cared enough to protect their children in this movie-making process, because it doesn't seem like that was particularly common. But yeah, so, I mean, to his credit, he's really going hard to try and create an authentic experience here. There's stories online about him popping up the severed heads and scaring the living crap out of kids to get the, in his mind, I guess, to get the authentic reaction from them that we ultimately see in the movie. But that's, slightly exploitative at best.
I think that like he wants to be somewhere in the making of this movie. It feels like he's trying to bridge a gap between like a John Waters and a Frank Henenlotter.
Yeah, sure.
But like both of those guys are fun guys, making different versions of disgusting movies.
Sure.
And I feel like the issue here is that he never really leans into the true disgustingness of it all. He never really fully buys into what he's selling in terms of like the grossness of it. Think about like you say, the ice cube is all full of cockroaches and eyeballs and whatnot and bugs and rats and stuff. But
and dogs.
Like
and people.
It doesn't do anything with it, like really. Serves it to someone and then, but like, it doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't do anything of any value. It
doesn't do anything particularly dramatic. There's nothing eruptive happening here. There's no one puking their guts out, pulling a worm out their mouth or whatever. But I just saw that as, dare I say, that kind of thing in this movie I think might have been gratuitous because it doesn't actually serve. It doesn't actually serve the plot, really.
Yeah.
The plot isn't really about that. That's fun. That's the kind of sprinkles. The actual like cone and ice cream happening here is that he's mental.
Like, yeah, but he's the whole movie is just like, look at this man. He's crazy. He's doing crazy people things, but they're not interesting. So why am I watching?
I don't know. I thought they were interesting. I thought the devices they used to show that he was crazy were kind of what kept me in the movie. The gore was fun, but you can only serve people so much gross crap and maintain a viable plot. Do you know what I mean? I think I needed to see him dancing in that car park in silence. And I need to see him watering his whirly gigs with dust. And I need to see the fact that he's obviously obsessed with ice cream and obsessed with his predecessor. And I need to see all those shades of zany, wacky / deeply mentally ill behavior to stay with the character.
But that doesn't make sense in reality. Like, I'm so obsessed with ice cream that I want it to be perfect. That's why it's full of cockroaches and dead people.
I know, but that's the thing that I quite like. That inconsistency is truly insane to me. You know, it would be too simple to have him be too boring, and not particularly horrific. More of like a Robin Williams 1 hour photo type movie to have him just obsessed with the quality of the ice cream. Fine, that's one movie. And a deranged schlock fest of gore and nightmarish flashbacks and crazy cut scenes and gross out stuff to have him just packing these ice cream cones with maggots and stuff like that. Sure. But the combination of the two is what's interesting to me, because he's so crazy and so complicated and so traumatized and so messed up that he does have an obsession with, you know, it takes months to make butter brickle, but then he's going to stuff a load of cord out eyeballs in it. It's kind of punk. Like, I don't know, there's something crazy in there that I really enjoy. There's a level of cinematic craziness that's almost too close to real craziness that I really like.
Yeah, I disagree.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think it's easy to say it doesn't make sense, therefore it's not good. I totally agree.
I mean, I like all the stuff that you're saying, and I like all the stuff that I like. That's like the gore stuff. It's just all of the stuff in between.
Right.
All the stuff with the kids and with the cops and with the big brother, and it's.
You don't like the cop stuff? I thought you'd be shoveling that down you.
I mean, I liked it when they go to the asylum, the Wishing Well Home for the Deranged, or whatever it's called. At the end, I mean, I think they undercut and ruin my favorite joke in the movie.
What?
So when the cops go and they're talking to the doctor, and he's like, "We believe in compassion." Shut up! Like, I thought that was great, but then they immediately undercut it by showing that the lunatics have taken over the asylum. Like, he's not a doctor, so he doesn't really believe in compassion. So
true. Yeah. But you didn't like any of the interplay early on, and the fact that
I mean, I love that they turn up. So a 10-year-old child says the ice cream man's a murderer, so they get a warrant instantly, and they go there and they smash up the ice cream parlor. Don't find anything, and then like, sorry mate, call this number. I mean, I liked that. That's bad movie cop stuff that I like.
Yeah.
I mean, and the kid was in there. They just didn't look hard enough.
He was literally in a place they told themselves to search really carefully. Look for hidden panels. Look in the walls. Like, he's fucking in one of those. Yeah. I mean, maybe I'm paying too much attention and spotting really subtle comedic cues here, but I love that the cops call him Ice Cream Man. First of all, that's funny to me. Second of all, I love that he offers them ice cream, first of all, and he banters with them. He does give as good as he gets.
Yeah.
He does
That's
tell
classified.
them that he's going to feed them dead people, and then tells them it's classified. I like, you know, he feeds him an eyeball. That's funny to me. He's touching all the ice cream, and it's all very gross. When they serve him that warrant, he asks if he can keep it.
Yeah,
He's
I like
so
that.
excited. Can I keep this? That's really funny.
I think my favorite moment is actually when they're talking to the bereaved mother, and they're like, "Do you want an ice cream?"
Yeah, it's great. Eat your kid. Yeah, brilliant. My favorite thing about Lee Majors the second, or Lee Majors Jr., or whatever the fuck we're going to call him. I read loads online that he was hammered through the whole movie, and you can see him like weaving and staggering. But I'm wondering, like, there's a characterization of him that he doesn't seem to know he's actually on duty, or that he's even a cop. Like, when he goes to the place where the ice cream man makes all his ice cream, he says, "Nice to see someone's opened the place again." It's where they're searching for dead children. Like, he just doesn't seem to register that he's even a cop, and I think that's fucking hysterical. There's a guy in the background of that scene just smashing stuff with a baseball bat, doing no searching whatsoever, and all of that just had me kind of howling. But you've also got Clint Howard in the foreground delivering what I think is a fairly nuanced, empathetic performance of an insane person or someone with like severe PTSD, some kind of major overload, overstimulated, something or other, kind of losing it on screen and trying to hold it together, but also hiding an abducted child. There's a lot going on there, and I think he really pulls it off.
I mean, I don't think I agree that it's a nuanced performance, but then I also think that if he was giving a nuanced performance, it would be inappropriate for the movie about the ice cream man that kills kids and serves their eyeballs to their parents. Like, I think that having...
As nuanced as Clint Howard gets, maybe, is what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I think, if we tried to apply the level of nuance that they were also trying to apply in the taking of Deborah Logan to this.
That's too much. It's not getting into pathos territory. It's just like Clint Howard could just be a crazy man, and he could just be, I'm crazy. But he's drawing on, I think, the idea that he is traumatized rather than that he's just crazy. I think there's a layer to this that he's at least, pulling from to some degree, to some effect, that I actually find quite convincing. He says these things that make you really believe that he has this serious dichotomy of lunacy where, he's upset, like, cherry syrup's good. He's talking about, he knows all about grenadine and the properties of grenadine. And, he really enjoys some of the attention that he's getting, but it's tied in with this crazy that makes it really hard to swallow and makes it really taste bad. Like, there's one point where I can't remember which kid it is, but he says, like, can I guess your favorite ice cream? And when he's guessing, he says he can taste it.
Yeah.
Is that Small Paul?
It's Small Paul, yeah.
That's creepy as fuck. Like, guessing a kid's ice cream flavor and tasting it at the same time before you abduct and murder them. That's way scarier than Ice Cream Man should be. And I think Clint Howard brings that level of psychological horror that adds a layer to me that makes it a little bit long lasting than just a throwaway trashy, It's more lolly and less stick. Or the other way around, whichever one's good.
Yeah. It's more chaff.
You'd love a chaff flavoured lolly, wouldn't you?
I would,
That'd
yeah.
Be a dream.
I have a chaffsicle.
Ice cream man, can I have your finest, most refreshing chaffsicle?
Yeah.
You'd love a David Warner ice cream. That's what you'd love.
I mean,
I'll have David Warner flavour, please. Tweed and tobacco.
I don't hate David Warner, but I do think that, like, small doses is the appropriate amount, and there's just about right in this.
Is he in what's that movie I hate? Waxwork.
Yeah, he was in Waxwork.
He's in that.
He's in The Omen.
Yeah. Appropriate in The Omen.
Yeah.
I just think he's miscast a lot because he doesn't really act. It's a bit like if you got Jason Bateman and just put him in, I don't know, fucking Superbad, or no, it'd probably work. I don't know. Jason Bateman's more of a utility tool than. Yeah. He just plays himself, doesn't he? I feel like David Warner's just playing himself.
But, like, I don't think Jason Bateman does just play himself. I think.
No.
Like, did you watch Black Rabbit?
Don't know. Jog my memory.
It's him and Jude Law are brothers. They own a restaurant / bar.
Yeah.
And, like, he doesn't just play Jason Bateman in that. He plays an entirely different guy with Jason Bateman's voice. And he was amazing. It was really good. Yeah.
Did you watch him in DTF St. Louis?
I've not watched DTF St. Louis yet.
Oh, top shelf entertainment there, Jamie. You'll have a good time.
Yeah, I told you that I watched the Stephen King show, the Holly Gibney show that he was in. What was that? What was it called?
The Outsider.
Yeah, and I just completely, spoiler alert, but I just completely lost interest when he died.
Yeah,
like he was the
really
the glue.
Didn't give people much room there. Spoiler alert, he died.
I mean, it happens in like episode 2.
Does it? Oh yeah. I really enjoyed that book and that film. I thought they were both good.
I just like the show. It just it really bottoms out once he's not holding it together. And then the other Holly Gibney show that I watched, the Mercedes Man, Mr. Mercedes, not Mercedes Man.
Mercedes drivers caught on camera.
I really liked the first series, and then the second series, I was just like, leave me alone. The second series is based on the next Holly Gibney book.
Had the exact same experience, yeah.
Yeah.
So here's a couple of questions for you.
Go on.
I find it hard to believe that there's stuff in this that you don't love. I think some of the things that I noted down that I thought you'd really enjoy. Olivia Hussey saying "serve and protect my ass" is pure porn.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic.
Agreed.
I thought
Olivia Hussey was low key better at being a psycho, at being a lunatic than Clint Howard.
I found her a bit much, and I hate saying that because she's in one of my favorite horror movies of all time. I do like her. I think she's cool as fuck, but I don't know. She's maybe the only thing I would have swapped out. Like, to be honest, I would have swapped her for someone else.
I feel like her performance reminded me a lot of my favorite television show growing up, which was The Adventures of Pete and Pete.
Oh, I love Pete and Pete. Oh yeah, she's giving a very Pete and Pete performance.
Yeah, and this is, I think this is low key of a fairly Pete and Pete movie. Like
it's a little bit, yeah.
Or
I can see that.
Or like, here's a point. The issue with this movie is that this movie takes 85 minutes, 86 minutes, and 86 and a half minutes, right?
I know what you're gonna say.
Erie, Indiana could do it in 25.
It's an "Are You Afraid of the Dark" episode, isn't it?
Yeah.
It definitely is, and it would be more appropriate as an "Are You Afraid of the Dark" or an Erie, Indiana, because Clint Howard would be, achievable in budget, affordable. It would work.
Yeah,
like less is more with Clint Howard for a lot of people I know. More is more for me, but I can never believe I can never believe someone like Olivia Hussey as like a spinster. It just doesn't, it's like
you put those big glasses on her,
Anne
and
Hathaway in a pair of glasses and be like, look how disgusting she is. Like,
Yeah.
it just doesn't work. Sorry. And if you know who Olivia Hussey is, you know that she isn't this old lady, and it's too much of a stretch, even for a thespian like her.
Yeah.
She can't pull off
Like,
the reclusive old lady.
Two years later, she was in like an episode of maybe 2 or 3 episodes of Boy Meets World, where she was like Topanga's like moody, single, spinstery aunt, but still incredibly hot.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, it's
Some would call that range, and some would say you just can't not be that woman. That's what you are. Don't put on a shawl and try and convince me you're a spinster school teacher. It doesn't work.
Don't put an eyeball in your ice cream and try and convince me it's fucking a cherry. Like,
Yeah. It ain't but a brickle, baby. Yeah. Lee Majors Jr., or whatever we're calling him, walking through Clint Howard's whirligig daisies and saying, those daisies are magnificent. How do you do that? It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. Was that in the script?
it's so funny, isn't it? Because it's like,
He waters them with dust.
like, again, that would work massively well in a Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Like,
It's a different kind of humor to me.
but like,
I just think it's different.
what are you gonna do with those pies, boys? Like, it's the
Here it comes. This is going to hurt. The humor in Ice Cream Man is more sophisticated than the humor in Killer Clowns. And it's superior. It's funnier. The people delivering it are better actors. The writing is better from a humor standpoint. Killer Clowns isn't funny. Like, it's doofy, but it's not funny. Like, it's not comedically good. It's a dumb concept, really well realized. Bear in mind, it has the highest rating of any movie from Sam Russo that we've covered on this whole podcast. I think the comic writing in this is, whether that was even written, I cannot verify. I'd have to read the script to find out. It feels like Lee Majors is battered and is just saying things. But I thought that was so funny. I had to, really take a beat to soak that fucker up.
Yeah.
That was perfect.
I just don't understand it in the context of the wider movie, and that's my. And like I think that like you can have that tone, but that tone has to kind of be the whole movie. But
I think he's his own thing in this movie. He's giving such a singular performance. He's not doing anything that you expect. All of my notes say, does he know he's a cop? he's on a different planet. Like, it's such a low-key deadpan off the wall performance. Like, it's not overblown Will Ferrell style ridiculousness. It's just this guy's just like wandered in from another movie.
It is all the stuff with the kids that ruins it for me. I think the kids
Right, the Rocketeers.
They're really dry. They're not fun, and they are the protagonists of the movie. And also, they get the Pied Piper stuff wrong, and they also apply the Pied Piper stuff to the situation they're in incorrectly. It's just giving like, I read a book recently, and this reminds me of that.
Yeah,
like
the kids aren't the strong point for sure.
There's a meme format which is like guy who's only seen Boss Baby being like, this movie's got real Boss Baby vibes. Like,
yeah. There's an element to this where you feel like a guy who makes porn movies writing for kids feels unnatural, and I think that's valid because
I mean, he didn't write it. The guy that wrote and directed that Eurovision movie with Will Ferrell in it wrote it.
There's something jank about that. Like, it's not Stand By Me, obviously. It's not Goonies. It's none of those things. But it's sort of trying a bit too hard to be adjacent to those. It's the only time it feels forced to me. It's believable at times. I do think that this movie is well shot, and I think there are some really fun.
I think you might have had an aneurysm.
When the parents are arguing in the living room, they do the close up on the mouths. That's a kid's perspective of an adult argument. That's a thought out shot. It's not just like, oh, just put the camera there and film them arguing. I think there's a lot of thought that's gone into shooting this movie, at least. I can't say it's well shot.
I think that I think that there are some moments where it's clear that some thought has gone into it, but there are some moments where it's just like, come on, we got to get the day. We got to do 25 more setups today, so let's just fucking hammer through it.
Yeah, I can understand those constraints producing, less than perfect cinema, but I don't really notice it when it's bad. I'll be honest. Like, you've got more of a keen eye for when something is poorly.
It's not even
done.
that it's that it looks bad. It's just that it feels joyless and rushed and like
that's a shame,
I think the film looks fine. Like, it looks like a film. It's shot on film. The stock is decent. The colors are nice. Like, it's lit.
The colors are great.
Yeah, it's lit really nicely. Like, people.
Do you get the feeling it looks better than it should? Really, like it feels like a really competently shot movie, which kind of belies this whole idea that it's not a good movie. It doesn't sit with me that this is criticized as being a bad B movie when it's shot well, full of great talent, quite well written, very funny, and quite scary. Like, it ticks all the boxes,
Yeah, I think that, like, the fact that we live in a post-film world means that, like, a movie that looks like this feels like a bygone time. And so we're able to look at a film that looks like this now and be like, well, our shit films don't look like this now. So this already has an inherent better quality to it.
Yeah.
Obviously, we know that Evil Dead is one of the greatest movies ever made, but like, that was shot super cheap. It was shot ingeniously, full of ingenuity.
Yeah.
But like, with none of the real accoutrement that you would need to make a movie be good.
Yeah.
And
people like really suffered to make that film work.
Yeah.
A lot of sacrifice.
And like, I think to a lesser extent, but something similar is happening here, that like, you have to really want to do it. And like, presumably there's a man in a suit somewhere with a load of coke being like, yeah, give this guy $400,000 or whatever it is that he needs to shoot this movie. Okay, well, on that, why don't we take a break and come back and give our final thoughts and scores?
Yeah, great. Cheers, bud. See you in 5. Gee, fucking Christ.
Will you give it up, man? Nobody's out there. We're alone. Oh, no, there's somebody out there. I'm picking up all this crosstalk.
Who's the Pied Piper now, Ice Cream Dick?
Ice Cream Dick.
Who's the Pied Piper now? No one's the Pied Piper now. No one ever was. What are you talking about?
I love that he gets called Ice Cream Dork and Ice Cream Dick in the same movie.
Well, dork means dick, right?
Yeah, but to different, ends. I can't believe you haven't talked about heads in cones.
Well,
come on, or puppet heads. There's severed head action in this movie, Jamie.
I love.
Are we back?
Yeah, of course we're back. I love the head.
Okay,
I love the head in a cone.
Yeah, it's fucking huge.
It's so big. Why has he got a cone that big? His ice creams aren't that big. He's made
exactly
a special
the kind
cone.
Of question that makes me love this film.
He's made a special cone for the head,
just in case he needs to put a cop's head in it. Yeah, obviously.
It's not a cop. It's a thingy's dad, isn't it?
No, the cops are the puppet heads.
But the cops are still alive at that point. They come back after that. I have no idea who those seven heads belong to.
Can't remember. I was having too much fun. But at that point, I was just hurling popcorn into my face and nailing beers and having a great time.
Yeah, I imagine. Do you know that bit in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia where Dee is slowly realizing that her rapper boyfriend might be like neurodivergent of some kind? I believe the word in the episode is retarded.
Okay, great. Their word, not yours.
Yeah, I feel like that's how you look watching this. It's just like him drinking his juice box, laughing at fucking Daffy Duck cartoons or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's George McFly Sr. laughing at the TV in Back to the Future 2.
Yeah.
Or is that one? I think it's one. Yeah, it's one. The grocery store chase scene, hysterical.
It should be hysterical, but I just thought it was dry.
It was very dry. I thought it was one of the lower points of the movie, but I still thought it was funny that he couldn't chase or apprehend a child in a very small, grocery store.
Also, like if a small child grabs you from behind and is like, "Mum," and you turn around and you know you're not his mum, but you're not like, "What the fuck are you looking at, prick?"
Yeah, fuck off, dickhead.
Like that's the child is obviously in
them
distress.
Across the shop, yeah.
I'll tell you what I really did enjoy.
Yeah.
Is I really enjoyed seeing cousin Lumpy Adams in the wild. I love that actor and his weird little face.
He was cousin Lumpy Adams.
So in the Adams family, they have their cousin. He's called Lumpy Adams.
Lumpy.
And he was the guy who worked in the Photoshop in this. And he's got
good spot.
He's got such a specific look, and I love it.
Yeah,
and just like seeing that
pecker
seeing him not in makeup but looking exactly the fucking same was a real joy for me.
Nice. Yeah, a real rolling cast of oddballs and deep cuts and bizarro boys. 4.8 on IMDb. This movie. What a crime. I am also surprised at the lack of media around this movie online. It does seem to be one of those movies that's, to most people, maybe not so bad it's good.
Yeah.
Like it hasn't got the cult following.
I think it's probably... Has it just recently had a new Blu-ray release? Or...
It must be fairly recent, yeah, because it was quite easy to find that Blu-ray release. I think we're in danger of being one of the most robust media critiques available online at the point of publication.
I don't think I would ever describe either of us as robust.
Believe me, there was something about me was pretty robust watching this movie. I thought it was stimulating.
Was it when you were considering going to number 149?
Yeah, well, that's the only slightly incongruous moment, is that gorgeous woman is inexplicably attracted to Clint Howard's Ice Cream Man.
So, I mean, it seems like she's not picky.
No, she's what Fraser would call HFS, horny for sex. Severed heads in ice cream cones, eyeballs galore.
Yeah.
What a good time.
I also don't understand why he takes his little melon baller and he like melon balls out the middle of the eyeball Just put the whole thing on there. When we see it in the next shot, it's the whole thing anyway.
Yeah, and on one of the covers I saw, it's whole eyeballs, obviously.
Yeah.
There was a whole thing, apparently they had to cut a load of scenes where he was scooping brains into people's, like just straight up raw brains into people's ice cream cones, because that was too graphic, but then they couldn't put it back in the movie for some reason, which is a loss. Apparently they made 40 different batches of brain material of varying consistencies to get to the point where they were happy with the brain, and the scoops were going to be more of a thing. The scoops were obviously used for the brain matter and obviously to bonk the cops on the head, but there was going to be more scooping that ultimately never made it into the final cut.
Yeah, I just wish it was grosser. I wish it was more violent. I wish that the kids were either better or less.
I'd go with less. I don't think there's room for them to be better, but they definitely could have been less.
Yeah.
They didn't need to be so much family stuff. There was no real need for any of that.
No, who cares
keep
that
Clint for longer?
Who cares that the dad is having an affair? Who cares that the police come and knock on the door when we think that he's kidnapped the little girl, and then the police go to the door, and there's like a whole protracted scene where it's like, no, she's in bed, and they're like, well, you go check, and he's like, I guess I'll go check, and then he goes and checks, and she's in bed, and he comes back, and he's like, see you in church tomorrow because I'm going to do a sermon on trust. Like, we don't need any of that. That
does feels too personal to be entertaining to anyone else.
Yeah.
It feels like there's something going on there in the writing and the direction that we don't really need as an audience. But I guarantee there's probably nobody on earth who's read that deeply into Ice Cream Man as the shit that we've just discussed. Like, you could tighten it up a little bit by, giving a little bit. What would you replace it with though? I'd replace it with more Clint crazy. Personally.
I think I want a nicer balance between like the what you're sort of describing as nuanced or subtle crazy with like gibbering lunacy ice cream stuff.
Yeah.
And like, I'd love to see someone die on camera. Like, we see 2 people die on camera, and one of them is Clint Howard.
Yeah, a lot of deaths, but not a lot of dying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that's true.
So,
sadly, it worked to its credit for me because I didn't realize that I was missing on-screen deaths until you raised the lack of. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah. In terms of a score, I'm going to give it 2 out of 7 severed puppet heads.
2 out of 7. That is catastrophically low.
I mean, it's
lower than IMDb.
I think the highs are pretty high.
Yeah.
But the lows are really, really low for me. And,
wow.
And I really found it. Sam Russo did. I watched it in maybe 5 different chunks over the course of today.
Crikey. I watched it in 1.
I know I whacked
it.
This is absolute
reversal.
Yeah, we're on a real Freaky Friday situation here.
Very strange.
Yeah.
You're really small Pauling it with that low rating.
I'm Judge Reinhold and you're Fred Savage in the movie Vice Versa.
Great. I'm so glad to hear that. Thank you for Judge Reinholding me.
Yeah. Do you reckon Judge Reinhold's ever been cuckolded? He's got the vibe.
What? Why would you say that?
I don't know, because you said that I Judge Reinholded you, and it made me immediately think of cuckolding.
Made you think of cuckolding? I mean, if he has, great, but it's not the first thing that springs to mind when I think of Judge Reinhold. All right, I'm going to give this movie 7.5 cored out creamsicle eyeball ice creams out of 10 because, as always, it did its job. It was very entertaining, and I at no point wanted to not be watching the film. So I think it set out to do something that it did very well. Wherever it's placed in the the grand ranking of cinematic achievements is irrelevant to me in this moment because I really fucking enjoyed it, and I would watch this movie again.
Wow!
I've bought it hard copy, and I think it's a really fun horror movie with some absolutely hysterically, inexplicably funny moments. So yeah, I think it's also probably my favourite Clint Howard performance. So, yeah, I'll give it 7.5 out of 10. Why not?
I think his little performance in Ticks is my favourite still, because he's just
it's a showstopper.
yeah. It just gets in, gets out, bang, 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 screams a lot, head explodes. Bob's your cousin, as somebody said on a TV show that I watched yesterday.
Crikey. It's a huge, bombastic, famous death scene. Yeah. It's great. But I see him as more in this, and I enjoyed seeing him spread his wings a little bit more. And it made me wonder, what could we had out of Clint Howard in a career that maybe wasn't shaped by, certain events and certain affiliations. Maybe we could have seen those wings spread even further.
Yeah, who knows? But we certainly won't.
Well, we might with Ice Cream Man 2.
Why not follow us on social media at FT Horror Show at your platform of choice? You can follow Sam at his personal Instagram account at Sam Russo Music. You can follow me at my personal Instagram account at Carruthers with a Z and no E.
Carruthers.
You can also follow me on Letterboxd at JamieFT. There you'll see all the films that I watch and the little one-line snarky review that I am forced to write by the fucking universe.
By the man. Save yourself some time. Just look at Jamie's letterbox and skip the podcast.
Yeah. What else can you do? We've already mentioned the Patreon. There's a bunch of stuff on there, episodes upon episodes in video and audio format that are unedited and uncut and funny. You get stuff that you...
Unforgiving.
Yeah. Unforgettable. Unfuckwithable.
Unforgiven. Load and reload.
You should tell your friends. You should make sure that you're subscribed wherever you're listening to this. You should leave a review and a rating. And you should come back next week when we will be continuing our Miggy season with another Miggy pick. And until then, until that next final transmission, we'll say goodbye. Say goodbye, Sam.
Goodbye, Sam.